Hey you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. I'm your host Nikki, bringing you the latest and trending topics, celebrity gossip, and recap on all your favorite reality TV shows. Before we get into today's video, please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button so that you could be reminded whenever I upload content to my channel. And first, I want to give a shout out to all my Naughty crew. Thank you guys so much for all the love you've been showing. Please keep it coming. Remember to share my videos on your social media platforms. Today, let's get into it. Marriage boot camp. This episode was everything. Today's episode focuses on communication. As you all know, if you want a good relationship, you have to have good communication. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. So this week's episode opens up with the couples coming back from evaluation. As you know, last week we ended evaluation on a strong note. All the couples were irritated, but last week's episode focuses on jealousy. So all of the tempers are at an all-time high. Molly and Treasure just got finished with their argument, and Treasure's like, I'm just over it. I'm ready to eat. Where's the pizza? Something. Noy's like, yeah, where's our pizza? Where's our pizza? Forget this. Give me my phone. I'm tired. Like, he starts erupting, you guys. Like, this whole season, he's been calm, cool, and collective, and Neri flashes in. She said, I know my husband. And he's the type that keeps it all in, and then he explodes. Okay, he explodes. And that he was doing. He was going off on a tyrant. Everyone's like, well, what happened? And he's like, I'm not going to be treated like this. They going to give me my phone. And Neri's like, why don't you step outside? Gather yourself. And he's like, nah, F this. F this. They not going to keep treating me like this. And so Neri's like, just calm down. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Ultimately she gets him, she pulls him away, takes him upstairs. Like, I need you to calm down. I need you to calm down. It's not that, I get that you're irritated, but I need for you to pipe down. He's like, all right, Neri, all right. But one thing about Nori, he's like, thank God for my wife. Because she my voice of reason. And she my best friend. And she got my back at all times. Right, wrong, indifferent. So I'm here for him. I'm glad he finally listened to his wife, guys. Because he was flipping over nothing. Over pizza. Hey, pizza. Like, if you don't grub her. So now we move on to the next morning, and the scene opens up with Neri cooking in the kitchen, and she's like, I really didn't sleep last night because of all the arguing that was going on. Like, I'm just like miserable, and I hope today can be a better day. But Nori is kind of apologetic, and because the housemates are all like surprised because they never seen him erupt like this, and he admits, he's like, I have a problem with holding things in, and Moni's like, all these years, I have never, ever heard you yell, okay? Never heard you yell. And she's like, now I got to walk away with this experience with you yelling, okay? So the housemates are gathering. Dr. Ish grabs Treasure to speak with her privately because her and Molly are still avoiding each other. He's still mad at her for the extra lap dances she was giving Miles, okay? And he's just like, done. So Dr. Ish and Treasure sits down, and Treasure just basically like, this is not really a relationship I want to even continue to work on because I'm done. I'm done. So Dr. Ish is like, oh, really? And he's like, what made you come to this conclusion? And it flashes. Dr. Ish was like, something is up with this couple. I've been saying it from day one. I'm right there with you, Dr. Ish. They are fake as they come. They need to stop playing with us. But Treasure goes on to explain, like, she feels like Molly is really manipulative. And if I don't fit into his box, I'm wrong. And she's like, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of trying to please him. And he's very manipulative. And she feels like he's like the devil. And Dr. Ish was like, okay. Come on with it. Tell me some more. And so she was like, no, I just feel like he's very calculated. And if I don't fit into this box, he just tosses me to the side like I'm nothing. So meantime, Molly comes walking in the room and Dr. Ish like, whoa. Private conversation. Back it on up. Private conversation. And so Molly feels salty because he heard Treasure call him the devil. And he just feels like, yo, I'm just over this. Like, she doing everything to tear me down, my character and everything. And I've done nothing but try to be nice to this girl. But Treasure did reveal to Dr. Ish, she said, the other day when we was doing the video shoot, he pours me a big old glass of vodka. And he know I'm trying to work on my drinking while I'm here. And I feel like, he's trying to sabotage me. So he could run back to his little girlfriend like, you see how drunk and sloppy she was on TV? She wasn't for me. Or whatever. Dr. Ish was like, yeah, that's a good point, because he's complaining about you drinking, but he feeding the beast. Drop down into my comments. Let me know. Do y'all think this couple real or not? Because I'm... So Molly, he goes outside pouting to the fellas. Like, yo, she up in there calling me the devil, calling me evil. Like, why would she want to ruin my reputation? And Tough is sitting there like, all right, man, let it go. Let it go. But Dr. Ish makes a good point, you guys. He says, him butting into that meeting speaks to how controlling and manipulative he is on a normal basis. He won't even let Treasure have a private conversation with Dr. Ish because he's so afraid of what she's going to say. But Dr. Ish reassures Treasure and lets her know that today's exercises are going to help her out tremendously with having that tough conversation, whether she wants to be with him or not. So remember, guys, today's exercises are all about communication. So all the couples are called outside, all right, for their exercise for today. And they walk outside, and it's an Indy 500 scene with these little race cars, really small ones. And Dr. Ish explains, today is their favorite point because it's the halfway point of the program. And the first half of the program focuses on breaking you down to bring out all that emotion. The second half of the program is designed to build you back up. So that's why they're starting with this exercise in the halfway point. Okay? So Dr. Ish explains to the couples that, you're going to have to put these cards together. One part of the team will be the instructor. The other part of the team will have to listen to the instructor, and they're not allowed to look at the directions. Okay? So he pointed out the instructors as Nori, Molly, Moni, and Miles. And Miles is like, oh my God, finally, Amber got to listen to me. For a change, she got to listen to everything I say. He's like, it is a God, okay? But all of these couples have communication issues. So Dr. Ish instructs the couples to pick out their jumpsuits with their names on it. It's a whole big work coverall. And Nori's like, I don't do overalls. I don't do jumpsuits. Y'all. Because let's just face it, guys. Nori is pleasantly plump, okay? So any one piece, anything, he just feel constricted. Like, and he's just struggling to put on the suit and everything. He ultimately just looked like a overstuffed sausage. I'm like, I feel bad for the man. Okay? I feel bad for the man. So I'm like, they shady. Why y'all make that man stuff into that suit like that? And so, that already sets the mood for Nori. He ain't beat for nothing at this point. Drop down into my comments. Let me know what y'all think about this exercise. So the couples disperse and they go off to start building their cars. And Molly, he is just like still in his feelings about the devil comment. And he's like, I'm trying my hard to move past it, but I don't understand how you can assassinate somebody's character the way she does. And so, Treasure's trying to put her best foot forward and get the activity done. But Molly's just pouting. She called me the devil. Wah, Molly. Get over it. Surprisingly, though, Amber and Miles, they're doing well. Okay? Amber's being submissive and listening to Miles. But I think it's more that she's so competitive and she likes to win. It's all about the win for her. She's not really paying attention to the lesson, you guys. She just wants to win. And then Nori And Neri is in his feelings about that jumpsuit. He is not feeling how he looking like a stuffed sausage. So he just pouting, and they was just like frustrated, like, come on, what's the detail? He just like, that's just what it say. He not trying to help her in any type of way. And then Moni and Tough, they seem to be doing okay. They calm, cool, and collective, they spirit. But I'm liking how this activity is going so far. I can't wait to see where it ends up. Drop down into my comments. Let me know what you think about this. Because the main thing Dr. Ish point out is, if the couples don't use communication, they're not going to be able to complete the activity. And their cars are going to fall apart. And it's important that they get those cars put together. Drop down into my comments. So ultimately, the couples put their cars together. Dr. Ish sends them on a break to reflect on what they learned in the first part of the lesson. All the couples are gathered around the table, and they're like, man, this lesson was way too easy. Nori with his input, he's like, yeah, I watched the show. I'm a big fan of the show. And see, normally, you blindfolded. I just think they trying to switch it up. Everybody's like, okay, Nori, all right. So Molly and Nori go outside. Nori trying to get his little, trying to get his little smoke on. And Molly comes outside. Man, I don't understand because we are very big figures. Why someone would try to assassinate my character. He's still going in about Treasure, you guys. And how she called him the devil. He is so obsessed with his image. It's not even funny. He is so afraid his image is going to be tarnished. And I guess it's because of what he's going through legally, you guys. He don't want anything misrepresented about him. And so Nori's just sitting there like, and he's just talking on and on. And Nori's like, the doctors told me to work on listening. And I'm having a hard time here. I'm having a hard time. He's losing me. Molly's losing me. And Nori's like yawning and sparkling his out. And finally he's like, oh my God, is that a lizard? Yo, I'm from Florida. I see lizards all the time. He did anything to get out of that conversation. Molly's like, what the heck is going on? And Nori's like, this is a lazy lizard. I'm about to give him some water, And so then he comes back to the couch and Molly's like, man, what am I doing wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? Maybe I'm missing something. He's just like, man, talk to your girl. Like, try to get a clear understanding. So Treasure comes outside and tries to talk to Molly. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to talk. And Treasure's like, I'm trying to be the bigger person here so that we could squash this already. And so they finally sit down and talk. And Treasure, she proceeds to tell him how she feels, how he feel like he always manipulative, and how Molly is like, he has the essence of an evil person. So Molly is not taking this well, you guys. Drop down into my comments. Do you think he's purposely trying to be evil to protect his image, or he's being calculated? I want to hear what y'all got to say. So in true Molly fashion, he's arguing with Treasure. That's what he was calling her last week. Treasure, he was calling her Amber. Anyway. And he starts recruiting everyone in the house. Neri, Tough, and Nori, do you guys think I'm the devil? And everybody's like, no. And so he looks to Treasure like, explain yourself. And she starts to explain herself like, look, you know how to move things around to make the outcome come out in your favor. You're always trying to put me in this box. You always tell me, make me look good. And she like, I'm tired of that. And she started speaking her truth, and he ain't like it. And he's like, you want to know what I think of you, Treasure? I think you fake as, okay? He really thinks she just trying to shine for TV. But he's just really bringing out his insecurity, you guys. And the doctor said that. They was like, you could just see his controlling and manipulative nature. But ultimately, Molly gets all upset, storms off like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. You're not going to be sitting up here lying on me, damaging my reputation. What's wrong with you? So he go pout, pout, pout up the stairs to pack his stuff up. ultimately Judge Tola goes up there and talks some sense into him. And she like, even if you leave apart, there's still things you could gain out of this for your next relationship. And you don't have to let Treasure control the narrative. The moment you give your power away, you're letting her control the narrative. So Judge Tola convinces him to come back and participate, you guys. So Judge Tola convinces Molly to come back and participate. She lets him know, like, look, you could ignore the comments that Treasure is saying about you. You could just conduct yourself in a respectful manner and ignore her. But the moment you react, you give your power away. And Dr. Ish is with the other couples explaining what the next part of the activity is. And they go outside. And Dr. Ish explains, all team members have to work together in order for the relationship not to break down. So now the couples are going to switch off. Whoever was doing the instructing earlier, they are now going to do the driving. But there's a twist. They're driving blindfolded, you guys. And their partners have to instruct them around the track. Now this is the head cracker right here, because none of these couples know how to listen. Nori is controlling, okay? And he just wants only his voice heard. And he shuts Neri down. So I'm interested to see how this all is going to work. So the couple set up to start the activity, guys. And Treasure's like, I'm not looking forward to doing this with Molly. It showed, guys, because Molly couldn't even get out. He couldn't get past the finish line. He was just not here for it. He just was just stuck. And then Nori and Neri, oh my gosh. Nori does not listen to Neri. And then Neri was confusing her left from her right. So ultimately, this is where he ends up, guys. In the wall. Crash. The couples are doing horrible. They are failing at this task. Okay? Amber and Miles. Amber sounds like a dog. No, left. Miles is like, I couldn't hear or understand anything you were saying over that bullhorn. And then Moni and Ty. He's just too quiet. He got to put some bass in his voice. Like, girl, go left. Go left. All the couples failed this activity, guys. They failed. They all get an F. And so Dr. Ish pulls the couples together for their final evaluation for today's activities. And he let all the couples know, y'all all suck at communication. And the drills today proved it. You all are horrible. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you some tools. The rules of engagement. There's rules to arguing, you guys. If you stick to these rules, you'll be able to resolve issues. But he said before he gets into the rules of engagement, the number one thing is you cannot hold on to things. You have to address issues in the moment. Because if you let it build up, it erupts. Okay? So let's get into these rules of engagement. Number one, you both are on the same team. You're in this together. You want to set boundaries that keeps the team whole. That's what a lot of couples forget. Like, you're on the same team. That's when you start disrespecting each other. You dismantle the team at that point. You have to come together to resolve the issue. Number two, one play. Only argue about one issue. A lot of times when couples argue, they want to bring up stuff that happened 10 years ago. You got to focus on one issue at hand in order to resolve it. Number three, stay in the game. Don't walk away. Stay in. I know dealing with my ex-husband, he always used to run. And that used to make the situation worse, ultimately. Now I want to argue about a whole nother issue. Like, why you got to be a whole coward out here? Let's sit down like adults. and handle it. Now he want to talk like adults now that we divorced. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say. Number 4, love. L-U-V. Listen, understand, and validate. And so he turned to Moni and Tough. And he said, Moni, what did you have for breakfast? She said oatmeal and some fruit. Okay? And so then he said, how you validate her is you repeat it back to her word for word. So he said, Tough, what did she say? She said something. He like, no, that's not what she said. Say it word for word. She said she had, and what I heard you say is that you had oatmeal and fruit. And so Dr. Ish looked at him and he said, that is how you validate your partner. You repeat back to them what they said to you so that they know you understand where they're coming from. And number 5, my favorite, spike the ball. You gotta spike the ball. Once you resolve the issue and you communicate about it, go out and celebrate. Reward yourself. Have dinner, whatever it is you do to make up when you have a disagreement. So, I thought these were really, really, really good points that Dr. Ish brought out. And the couples was like, wow. It's just as simple as that. And so they immediately try to use the tools that Dr. Ish gives them once they disperse. And they go to the table. And the ladies are sitting at the table with Treasure. And Treasure's like, I don't like how he's trying to make it seem like I'm a liar. Do you guys think I'm a liar? And they looking at her like, no, girl, like, it's all good. And Moni talks to her face, heart to heart. Because Moni's like the mama bear. And she's like, look, honey. You do not have to fit in someone else's box in order to maintain a relationship. You should be able to be yourself. Don't let anyone take that away from you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And Moni was speaking from experience because she said, look, I've been in relationships that were toxic. And so after Moni drops her words of wisdom, the fellas try to encourage Molly, like, come on, make up. And guys, he treated her like she was like a common streetwalker. Like, come here, come sit on my lap. And he pulling her over or whatever. And he's like, I care about you. I care about you. And Trent's like, I love you too. And then he grabbed her face like, give me a kiss. And Moni's like, too soon. Y'all was just beefing. Too soon. And she like, Treasure, did you want to do that? And she was like, no, not really. Like, I'm just really not in the mood. He's like disrespecting me so much. And then Molly gets all up in arms and starts getting disrespectful with Treasure. Like, you up here trying to embarrass me on national TV. And Moni steps in like, I'm not on anybody's side. But this right here is toxic. Molly, walk away. Treasure, stop talking. And so Moni proceeds to speak to Treasure and say, like, look, you deserve better than this, girl. You don't need him to validate you. And I just thought she brought home a very good point because Treasure's feeling like, she has to do everything Molly says to make him happy. But Molly ain't doing nothing to make her happy. Not at all. The moment he get mad, he tosses her to the side. So after Molly and Treasure's fight, Molly walks off, and then Neri and Nori are in the kitchen with the other couples that were remaining. And Nori is just like, man, am I that bad? Do I not listen to him? She's like, no, you don't listen to me. You always trying to hold me back, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm like a caged animal. Like, you gotta let go. And Nori's just like, I'm just really protective over what I love. And she's like, I understand. But like, when you raise kids really strict, what do they eventually do? They grow up and they go buck wild. Because they grew up under such strict circumstances. Like, if you do not let up, I'm getting tired of it. And I don't want to have to lash out at you. And so she really hit home with Nori. And Nori's like, you know what? You my best friend. And I don't want to do anything to hurt you. You know, and he apologized like a man should. Okay. And I really think Nori is getting the most out of this boot camp because he's really trying to take the tools that he's learning and apply it, from helping her and everything. He has his moments, you know. He has his moments when he loses control or whatever, but ultimately you could tell he loves his wife, guys. So that's it for this week's episode. It was really good. It was really some important lessons that you could take away. That's why I love this show. But before we get out of here, please remember to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button so that you could be notified when I update content to my channel. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been receiving. Until next time, Naughty Crew, we out. 1.